help. I feel like I'm losing my buyer in the middle of the sales presentation. What are some strategies that I can use to keep the buyer engaged? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California. A perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about things going sideways in the sales process. Now, you got to know that when you go into a sales call, the buyer that you're going to meet with is going to throw stuff up in front of you. It's going to be sales body armor, like, don't try to close me, or I'm getting a lot of bids, or I'm not making a decision today, okay? So there's going to be times where you just got to flat out ignore that and just say, okay, no big deal, right? And just move on. But there are times where you can get to the middle of a sales process and you've lost the engagement from the buyer. So if you're sitting at a table, here's a couple of different strategies, and not every one of them is going to be perfect for what you do, but take some notes because this will help, okay? So if you're sitting at a table, sometimes you can get up. Motion creates emotion. You're going to hear that. Motion creates emotion. Okay, that's something you could do. You could shoot some video. You could get the person to elaborate some more by asking a question. You could ask them to tell a story. There's like 4 things right there that you could do to help gain momentum. But just know that there are ebbs and flows in the sales process where it feels like you're on top. Not anymore. Now I'm down here. It feels like I'm on top. Not anymore. And this is where you get the sense of who can close deals and who can't. A newer salesperson really struggles with the ebb and the flow of the sales process. It's up right here, it's down right here. It's up right here, it's down right here. It's up right here, it's down right here. And sometimes that happens, and sometimes it's the buyer. If you're dealing with purchasing agents love to play this game. Purchasing agents love to keep asking you questions so that you can't give a sales presentation, so you can't ever get momentum, and then at the very end, they're like, your price is too much, and then they've been obstinate the whole way, or they've pushed against you the whole way, okay? So, walk and talk, take them, motion creates emotion. Shoot some video, ask some questions, get them to tell some stories, get them to talk about what they like or what they don't like, right? There's a lot of different ways to do this, but just know that this is normal in the process. And if you panic, they're going to panic too. You got to know that that's a problem. So if you feel like you can get past the ebbs and flows of the sales process, leave a comment. Just say, yeah, I can get past the ebbs and flows, or this is something that I really struggle with. So you got to know this is normal for all salespeople. This is something, and if you're struggling in your personal life and you're a closer, all these things start affecting you. Right? You can have somebody who's a closer and they're creating their own self-sabotage by all the personal things that are going on in their life, creating some problems. That happens too. It's not just new salespeople who struggle with this. It's somebody who's not closing, somebody who's got struggles in their personal life. Right? It could be a death, a major death in the family of a person or a pet, loss of something like a car or a house, loss of a significant other. All those things are major and causes people like, I'm going to go create some self-sabotage right now. And then they crash their sales car, okay? So if you need to circle your wagons, this is one of the reasons why you should have a sales journal, and you should take notes about your sales call and try to pinpoint on the timeline where you lost the buyer. Was it because of a story you said? Was it because of something you did? Now, I remember there was a time where I was in an exclusive neighborhood. I was doing in-home sales. I was selling heating and air. And I sit down with these buyers. Now, everything is all about perception of these people who live in this neighborhood, right? They all drive top-end cars, perfectly manicured lawns, right? Like 2.5 kids, all of them dressed to the T's perfectly. And we're sitting there and they're telling me about their electric bill, and I'm like, all right, and I look out in their backyard, and they had a good-sized swimming pool, but in my brain, I'm tired, it's been a long day, it's hot, I'd been selling a bunch of jobs, I look outside and I go, well, that's a smaller type of swimming pool, and like all of a sudden I get the look of shock on their face, like, how dare you talk about me like that in my house? That is not a small pool, this is a small backyard, right? I lost the deal. Like at that pinpoint, I could pinpoint and go, I know where I lost that deal. That's where the deal went sideways, right? So like sometimes it comes from you. You can't always look and say like it's the buyer's fault. You got to own responsibility. Say, hey, look, if it is to me, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And you got to take a look at it and go, hey, look, this was something that I caused. This was a problem that I created. You need to own it, right? Hire somebody. Talk to your manager, get somebody to do a ride-along with you if this is a common struggle that you're having. But know that buyers put up sales body armor like, I'm not buying today, I'm not doing anything today. You just got to work through it, and sometimes it just comes from ignoring it, okay? So there are times where you are going to ignore objections, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's nervous energy. I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night to feed my cat, and I walk into the wall. I live by myself, and I'm like, oh, man, I just walked into the wall. I'm like, why am I talking to myself? It's nervous energy. So take it for nervous energy. So you got one thing to do from here. Just one thing. And that one thing is to find the subscribe button. Somewhere, click on the subscribe button. What's going to happen is every time I send out content, you're going to get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should watch it, which you should. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.